And we're back once again, only on It's Last Call. Last Call to Alcohol, only on the lastcallpodcast.com. And joining me here as always, he was off last week. This man here is busy. He's now joined heavy.com. He's writing for soccer. He's doing UFC still. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was the say I'll say this because he won't take any credit. He was the inspirational muse for Gina Carano to help her lose weight. He was helping her with the diet, getting her on the germ, helping her get ready. We'll talk about that and more. I give you once again from from the MMA Oddsbreaker podcast from Eurosport UFC. I give you it's none, and from heavy.com. I give you it's none other than Marcel Dorff. So Marcel, let's start once off. Let's jump right into this because we're gonna rip the Band-Aid off. This is just how am I gonna put it here? This was ugly. 17 seconds. Ronda Rousey defeated Gina Carano by armbar. Afterwards, they were both hugging and smiling, and yeah, this ain't good. I mean, I love Gina Carano, and I wasn't expecting, her to just go out there and put on a clinic. But as your buddy Adam Martin said, this felt weird.
To be really honest, man, I didn't expect anything else to happen. I'm a massive Gina fan. I love her, and I'm one of the how do you say that? One of the people on the Ronda hate bus. So I absolutely wanted Gina to win here, but I knew it wasn't going to happen. Listen, man, that, you can say a lot about Ronda, but Ronda is not stupid. She knows that the only way Gina beats her is if they keep it standing and if she is making a kickboxing match with her, So she gets her to the ground immediately, and I knew the moment she hit the ground and she was at full mouth, it was be another armbar. So it wasn't surprising to me at all. Um, yeah, I mean, it pretty much went the way I thought it would be. It was pretty quick, obviously. Um, yeah, it's a lot of hype for a fight that ended in 70 seconds, right?
I guess it was, I think the reaction, I think, bothered people. And I get it. Look,
Yeah.
if you don't know Gina, she went through hell in
Hmm.
Hollywood, basically being blackballed, even having certain MMA reporters, Ariel Helwani, call her out for saying, conservatives are, basically treated like horrible and stronger. And I get it. For her, this is just happy to be back in MMA, happy to feel the love, feeling revigorated. I get it. It's just. I guess I think fans wanted her to be more disappointed, and it just felt like, all right, we know it's not, but people felt, okay, this was staged. This is a pro wrestling work. This is all bullshit.
Yeah, and personally, I didn't really mind it, because I felt like because I already thought that Ronda would easily beat Gina, that's what I thought. So for me, there was nothing like surprising with that. A lot of people were kind of surprised. I felt like they were like, oh, we thought that Gina would put up more of a fight. And I was like, I never thought she would. So for me, it was not surprising or anything, But yeah, I mean, what can you say, right? This is a fight made between two women who were pretty retired in MMA, and Gina's even older than Ronda is, So I'm just not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all, man.
So let's ask the big question: did this help MVP promotions, or did this hurt them? Because this is now you can argue like the third sort of stinker that they put on in terms of Tyson versus Paul. You had Tyson versus Joshua. Paul versus Joshua, and now Rousey versus Carano. I mean, if you were Netflix, I'd be going looking at Jake Paul and going, "Why do we hell are we getting in business with you when none of your main events are competitive? We might as well just throw bum fights out there, or even celebrity boxing, and see how that does."
It's a difficult question, of course, Listen, the main event didn't deliver, but there were other fights that did deliver. But yeah, difficult question, man, Chris, you're asking here. I mean, do I want to see more competitive main events? Obviously. But they want to do this fight. Let's hope the next main event, if they do another MMA card, they say they do, but then first have to see it. Let's let's hope it's more competitive.
Ronda says she's retired. Is there any fight you think that could get her back in there? Like people have thrown out, oh, Ronda versus Cyborg. Yeah, that ain't happening, folks. If you think that, then I have some, beachfront property in North Dakota that I want to sell you. I don't see, Holly Holm, taking on Ronda again because that didn't end well the first time. Like, is there any fight that could be like pushed for Ronda that, MVP could make that wouldn't be like, all right, this is another joke.
No, I don't think Ronda will come back, because she knew this was probably going to be an easy win for her and an easy money grab. Um, I don't think she will be back. I'd be surprised. Who she has to fight? Zingano again. I don't need to see that rematch. Tate in the third fight. I also need to see that. The only interesting fight for her is probably Cyborg, but she's not going to take that fight because she knows she loses. So
Well, what's the so again, you want to like Ronda. People do. And the press conference just really reinforced, like, God, she's not likable. When she's going, well, this is how I wanted my career to end. And Nunez killed the featherweight division and, mean TKO. Very nice. I mean, the more you heard her, it just felt like, oh my God, please, Ronda, shut the hell up. I mean, this should be studied by every fighter, whether you're WWE, UFC, boxing, like how to not alienate your fan base. Because again, even in her gracious win, maybe it's me, Marcel, she came across so friggin' unlikable.
she has always been unlikable, man. I mean, that's why I say I've never been a fan of hers, because she's super unlikable in my opinion. Comes across like really rude, uh, and just very self-centered. I know a lot of fighters are self-centered, but hers a little bit more extreme, I feel like. Um, Never been a fan, never will be a fan. Yeah, like I said, also to Adam, I'm the wrong guy to ask if you want to hear some good stuff about Ronda. I just don't like her. Always the way she look at how Gina Carano carried herself when she was like the face of women MMA, and look like how Ronda carried herself when she was the face of women MMA, and this is pretty much everything.
Where does Gina go from here? Do you see her fighting again? Like if I know it's a long shot, but if you're a UFC and you have some of these cards that you're trying to just throw something on, do you dust off like Kat Zingano versus Gina Carano? All right, look, we'll pay you some money here. This can sell tickets. We'll put this on CBS. I mean, is there any chance that she fights again? She says she kind of wants to, but
Yeah, but let's be honest, Katzengano will also take her down. You know, I mean, listen, do I want to see Gina fight again? I would prefer to see her in the movies. I thought she did a really good job in the movies. I enjoyed watching that. I enjoyed watching her in The Mandalorian. I enjoyed watching her in the action movies she did. I hope she gets another chance to fight in the movie of to go to the movies again because I think she really did well there. And I don't need to see her fight anymore. I have a lot of respect for Gina, always had, but we don't really need to see her back in the cage anymore. Let's be honest.
well, I know how you feel that way about that. So let's get to the next two guys. Oh, we gotta go back here a bit. My apologies. So let's talk about the undercard. It was Nate Diaz versus Jay Perry. The less said about that, I'd say the better. It was just, it was bad. I mean, I know it was action packed, so fans loved it, but this was sad seeing, Nate Diaz basically just get beaten pillar to post. The fight stopped because of multiple lacerations and cuts, and he's getting dropped. Like, I get he wants to keep on fighting, but this was just like watching, a tough guy who you realize, like, okay, his best days are behind him.
Yeah, no, man. It's never fun to see it that way. I think they want to do a rematch. I'm all good with it, although I don't really need to see it. But if they want to, who am I to say no? But yeah, I mean, there were so many like cuts in Nate's face that I thought the referee could have stopped the fight. He didn't. Then he let the corner stop the fight. Um, Maybe he was afraid that Diaz would knock his ass out if he stopped the fight, but. Yeah, I mean, unfortunate that the fight happened the way it happened. I wanted to see I wanted to see them do better. At least I want to see Nate do better. But yeah, it looks like they're trying to get a rematch, which I'm not really that a fan of. But if they want to do it, whatever, go ahead. I would say, right.
Could Mike Perry be brought back to the UFC? I mean, again, it's crazier things have happened, and you never say never in MMA. I mean, if Conor McGregor, we'll get to him later on, wants to keep fighting, like why not just do, hey, let's do a fun friggin' fight. Conor McGregor versus Mike Perry down the road. You know that will sell tickets. You could put that in any stadium and that people will draw because hey, it's a circus fight. Like, am I crazy to think that fight could actually be something the UFC goes, hey, we'll take a look at it. We'll make that happen.
Do we really need to see it in the UFC, bro? To be really honest,
I
I
know
don't know.
you don't like that fight, but remember, you and I have different tastes. The casual fans will go, "Oh my God, look at those two go!" If you thought that, you know, Sean Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev was wild, these two will be even wilder. I mean, again, I get it, Marcel. It's the purist in you was like, "This is bullshit." The casual fans go, "Shut up and take our money."
Yeah, they'll probably try to look into it if the numbers are don't do well in the car in the coming months, But I don't really care about it, man. I'm being honest with you. I'm just gonna give my own reason. That's it.
Well, that's why you're a purist. We love you. And speaking as a purist, this must have just broke your heart. Robes Despaigne knocking out Junior Dos Santos. Oh, this was sad, Marcel. Junior Dos Santos is like one of the nicest people in MMA. He's like the neighbor who has a barbecue and says, "Hey, you know what? You want to bar my leaf blower? Oh, just go ahead. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. He'll." This was sad. This is the former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, and he gets just knocked the F out by a guy who, wasn't that good in the UFC, is doing karate, combat karate. This was heartbreaking, Marcel.
True. I mean, listen, I also said I was talking about Stefan Struve about this fight. I was like, listen, dude, I'm a fucking couch cunt. But I don't understand when you're in an MMA fight and you're fighting against a guy who has like zero takedown defense, zero ground game. You're gonna stand and bang with the guy, which he has the knockout power to put you away. I'll never understand that. It's like, yeah, and I hated to see it obviously because Junior is a legend.
I mean, what did Stefan say when he's watching that fight? Because he must have just looked at that Junior Dos Santos one. Why wasn't this the guy that I fought? Like, why couldn't you not take down and just stand there and just, eat shots?
Yeah, I always understand it, but this is the thing. Like Junior probably shouldn't fight anymore. He's old. He's legit old. I love the guy. He's always one of my favorite heavyweights, but I don't want to see him fight anymore. I'm definitely not against a guy who has this kind of knockout power.
We've talked about before how, promotions should be held to a higher standard. Like, hey, don't put this on. This is just like almost, human rights abuse. And I get it. Fighters need to make money, but I mean, for when Jake Paul like say, "Hey, I want to clean up the sport of MMA, but I want to do this." I mean, should he be called out for like, okay, you knew this could have ended badly, and yet you still booked this? Like Junior is not an active competitor. Despaigne still kind of is. I mean, this feels just dirty. Like, something that, the boxing promoters that Jake Paul can't stand would do.
Yeah, of course, but it's on Junior, man. I mean, I understand he takes the fight because he gets paid probably well for the fight. But then, like, why are you playing into this Spain's game? I don't understand stuff like that. We saw again that the Spain lost to fucking Austin Lane in the UFC. I mean, and Austin Lane, I think that might be this only win for Austin Lane in the UFC. So that says a lot, I think.
All right, so because Despaigne got this win, does that mean like PFL will sniff around and go, "Hey, let's do Francis Ngannou versus Rubles Despaigne. Hey, we can make that happen. That'll be
They're probably going to do
fun."
that. They're probably going to do that. Yeah, they're probably going to do that.
I know that's how sad MMA heavyweights are right now. Let's get speaking of Francis Ngannou. Well, It lasted longer than Carano versus Rousey. Not by much, but it lasted a bit longer. It was literally 4:31 into, basically 29 seconds into the first round, but he basically just obliterates Philip Lins. That's the good news. Bad news. As we spoke about, Dana drops the news of Conor returning. It almost felt like they were setting this up. Dana's like, okay, what is this
Of
fight
course it is.
at? And as soon as the gun comes out, boom, there it is. I mean, when this is peak Dana just trolling, and I love it, Marcel. Usually I don't, but in this part, this is just trolling. Even that something that you would go, all right, that's impressive.
I thought it was disgusting the way they did it, and not that they did it at the same time as Ngannou's fight. But why the fuck does Dana go online on his Instagram to post it? Dude, like 90% of the people I talked to missed that announcement because he went live on the stupid Instagram. Dude, you have a fucking broadcast going on. You can go live on that fucking broadcast. You can go like 5 minutes before you go live. You can say on Twitter or Instagram, massive fight announcement coming up in 5 minutes on the broadcast of UFC Vegas 117. And everybody would have watched. No, this stupid idiot goes to his Instagram account, and goes live there. Well, a lot of people didn't even see it. So then I hear John Gruden saying on the broadcast, like, we have a massive announcement coming up after the break. So then I say in the Discord where I'm at, like, John Gruden says there's a massive announcement. And people are like, yeah, Dana already announced it on his Instagram. It's like, what the fuck? So that's really pissed me off. And it kind of stressed me out last night because I was busy doing a lot of stuff. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Just announce it on the broadcast. Why do you have to go Instagram live? Where a lot of people, listen, Instagram fucking sucks. I say here, Instagram sucks, because you barely get you don't get sometimes a notification when somebody gets live. You put notifications on for people going live. I didn't get a notification when Dana got live. So Instagram fucking sucks and Dana does as well. There you go.
Because this is why. Because it's trolling. Dana and Francis can't stand each other, and they just piss everybody else off in the process. This is like, you know what? Only Dana's gonna win, and everybody else loses, and you have to admire just like the sheer hatred. It's comical for those who are sitting there like, all right, yeah, this is. You had to laugh at the absurdity, Marcel. Otherwise, you'll get sick to your stomach. You are. But afterwards, Nagano calls out John Jones
Yeah, fight's never
again.
going to happen.
Yeah, there's a better chance of me dating Sydney Sweeney than
Yeah.
John Jones versus Francis Nagano ever happening. And my chances, ladies and gentlemen, are zero point zero. I understand that. There's no way in God's green earth, as long as Dana's alive. Francis might try to put a hit out on him now. That the UFC will ever allow Jones to leave his contract and fight Ngannou, and there's no way in hell Ngannou's ever coming back to the UFC for numerous people and reasons. So, what do we do with Francis Ngannou? Because he doesn't seem to really want to do MMA unless it's big, sexy fights. I don't know. You can't do WWE. Like, I guess we're going back to Francis Ngannou in boxing.
First of all, can we stop calling him the lineal heavyweight champion? This bullshit that Ariel Helwani came up with he's the dude. Guy hasn't fought legit competition in 3 fucking years. Can we stop calling him the lineal heavyweight champion? Thank you very much.
Once again, that's peak trolling, though. This is like a war of the roses. You have Francis and Ariel Helwani who hate Dana White. Dana can't stand either of those two or anybody else. Again, if you ever want to watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, but you have male testosterone, this is what you watch. You just watch these three go at it, and you realize, okay, yeah, this is what Real Housewives of whatever city it is like. It's just a lot of bitching, a lot of backstabbing, and you can just sit there, Marcel, and laugh at all of it.
True, true.
So let's get to the news that fans are happy about. You're sort of like, Back, ladies and gentlemen. The notorious Conor McGregor will be fighting at UFC 329 in a rematch against blessed Max Holloway, the uncrowned BMF champion. I'm excited, Marcel. I'm going to be watching this. I will bring family over to watch this. This is going to be just a fun friggin' fight. I know you can't stand Conor. You're like, God damn it. Everything about MMA that I hate, Conor amplifies. But even you go to admit, this is going to be a fun fight for as long as it
I,
lasts.
I say one thing, and I said it as well in the podcast with Adam earlier today. If Max Holloway somehow loses to Conor McGregor, he has to directly retire from MMA.
Wow, that's a bit harsh. Like again, Conor still has power.
Let's cut the crap. Conor hasn't fought for a long fucking time. He's coked up to the craziness all the time. Obviously he has power. But the Max Holloway, who's been in this game for such a long time, who's always been in training, who's always been busy, who's still a legit great fighter in the division, a ranked fighter, a former champion. He should never lose to Conor McGregor in an upcoming fight, dude. Not in 2026.
Still, before we get to the fight itself, this is big because let's face it, there's not a lot of star power in MMA. I mean, you could probably name drop. I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if you could name drop five UFC fighters who casual fans go, "Oh yeah, I know that guy." Well, we've talked about that in length of the issues and the reasons and what we can and can't do. Conor McGregor, you can name drop. Conor McGregor is somebody even my aunt knows. Like, oh yeah, I know who Conor McGregor is. So again, the fact that he is fighting should help business. It should, and hopefully for Max Holloway, it gets him, more recognition because when he wins or if he wins, this should help his profile.
Let's be honest, man. You're just looking forward to this fight because it sounds like your name and you love to hear your name on the UFC broadcast a couple of times. I'm just kidding, dude. I know
You
you
love it,
swear.
Marcel. I know you're going to be Max Holloway's corner. And as you said, when Max knocks him out, you'll go into the corner. You'll take like a selfie if you standing over a prone Conor McGregor, giving him a DX cross chop, going suck these nuts. You will be there, and you during International Fight Weekend just trash talking McGregor on behalf of Max Holloway. He will hire you as like his Jimmy Hart, just walk, with a megaphone. Huh? Connor, get off, stop the blow!
You
Connor,
know,
get out of the
you-
bathroom!
I don't even mind Conor that much. The people who I actually kind of despise are these Conor McGregor nut huggers. Those people who keep saying like he's still amazing and he would still be champion. Those people, I can't stand those people. And I don't have that much of a problem with Conor, but I always felt like he was prioritized by the UFC, even when he wasn't a champion yet. But
So this will be even better. You can walk around in fight week seeing all those Conor McGregors, you call them nut huggers. And as they're
well, they
depressed,
are.
you can just start laughing at them and taking pictures like, ha 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 ha, losers.
Yeah, I'm not like that. So,
You
but
say that, but Marcel, deep down, there's an American who wants to get out of you and go, yes, I want to be the heel. I want to be the villain. I want to be the bad guy.
most of the American with me comes out when we have burgers at home. So that the real American comes out.
Well, speaking of real American,
Yeah.
Arnold Allen, I think, is becoming an American. You might be adopting him because he not only does he win a fantastic fight against, McKeezel Costa, he's dropping more f bombs than even you can do in a 5 minute span. I was sitting there and I was going, yeah, I hate these fucking decisions. Fuck this. And all I could think of was Marcel, you smiling, going, yes, embrace the f bombs. Curse out, become like me, son. Become part of the dark side. Were you happy with this? Were you happy not with the performance, but also Arnold having like personality?
Of course, and I like Arnold Allen, man. I think he's a good fighter. He's kind of an underrated guy in the division, has always been. And he looked good, man. I mean, somehow one judge gave a round to Costa. The second round, probably he was watching the Ngannou fight at that moment or something. But yeah, I thought like Allen clearly won the fight. He looked really good. I was happy to see that because, like I said, Arnold Allen is a great fighter. Um, yeah, good for him, man. Let's see who he gets next. He wants Yair Rodriguez. I'm all good with it. That's going to be interesting, man. What's next?
And I was gonna say, what do you do with Arnold Allen? Because it's sort of he's
Yeah,
had a
what's
couple
yeah.
losses here. None of them are bad. It's just
Yeah.
when he gets to that elite level, that's when he sort of trips up.
I mean, he had three losses in the UFC. Max Holloway was a clear loss. The Mobstar fight was close, and the Jean Silva fight was close. So we only clearly lost, in my opinion, to Holloway. The other two fights are pretty close. He lost those as well, but they were close. So he asked for Yair Rodriguez. Why not? Yair is, I think, still in the top five. I don't know why he's still in the top five, but let's do that fight. Why not? They're going to Mexico, I think, in September, or it's going to be like a Dutch UFC card again in the US or something. Well, put it on that card.
Meanwhile, from Ezekiel Costa, this was, we had talked about it. He was on fire with a six-fight win streak. Two of them, last two were by knockout. Does he lose a lot of starch in this, or is this one of those fights you look and go, okay, well, he's still good. He just ran up against a much better fighter, but we can see the improvements.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. I mean, if he won here, it would have done massive for his career. But him losing here, it's not that bad. But at the same time, it kind of losing him his momentum. And listen, I wasn't surprised that he lost. I picked Allen before the fight. So for me, it's like I think Costa's decent, but I never saw him like as a legit top contender in the division. So yeah, he will have to get back on track again, probably.
Let's talk about the guy who I think made the biggest statement. That was Doo Ho Choi knocking out Daniel Santos via body shot to ground strikes. The co-main event. If you don't know about Choi, now you know about him. This is a guy who, UFC's been desperate for somebody from Korea to take that next step. And look, he's all of a sudden now, again, he's 3-0-1 his last four fights. He's a much different fighter than 2018, 2016 to 2019 when he had a three-fight losing streak. He's older, but it looks like he's turned a corner. And all of a sudden, you're going, hey, he could maybe make some noise at 145.
I'd say he's good, man. I always liked the guy. He had not a good start actually against Daniel Santos. Santos looked good early on, kept the pressure on. But the thing was like Santos was gassing at a certain moment, and then Choi could go along with his pace. And yeah, a great combination by Choi to the body, dropping Daniel Santos, finishing him. Listen, Choi is one of these guys you want to see fight. He's never in a boring fight. Always try to bring the fight. Um, yeah, he's a fun fighter. He always been in the UFC. And yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do next with him. He asked for Aaron Pico. I like the fight, but I don't think the UFC is gonna do that one. But yeah, that would be a fun fight in my opinion, man.
How about him versus Melquiza Costa? I mean, do you make that? Or two guys who just prefer to just, stand flat-footed and throw some big shots?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I think it's okay for Choi to get a chance to fight her top 15. And I think Marquis Ayel has to defend now his top 15 spot. So I think it's a good idea by you, Chris.
To recap the rest of the main card, it was Juan Diaz basically taking down, submitting Malcolm Wellmaker by rear naked choke at 408 of round two. Again, life comes at you fast. Wellmaker started off hot as winning his first two fights, and now all of a sudden he's 2-2. Sorry, 0-2 in his last two fights. Diaz, the UFC's very happy whenever they can get a guy who is coming out of nowhere, bantamweight, to be a fresh challenge. So we'll see what happens with him. Martin Bukauskas defeated Edwards by split decision in a fight where Christian Edwards almost was able to get him to steal that fight by just basically grabbing and making it into a phone booth fight. Bukauskas, as even Daniel Cormier, I think, was learned to one of the worst fight IQs in MMA. Uh, Another impressive bantamweight, Bernardo Sopage defeating Timothy Kumba by rear naked choke. And then Chaos Williams defeating Nikolai Veternikov by TKO right hook at 3:31 in the first round. Of these fights, who stood out the most to you in terms of like you looking going, all right, they could be maybe a title contender in the next, let's say, two fights?
The title contender is crazy, so that not. But I mean, Diaz obviously impressed against Malcolm Wellmaker, Uh, funny thing there that the referee was going to warn him, like, you got to be careful, while he didn't make it a fall at all, But that was funny to me. Um, but yeah, he looked good. Also, Sopai looked really good against Timmy Kwamba. That fight could have been stopped by the ground and pound, but referee let it go on, and then he put him in a rear naked choke. Chaos Williams put away Veretennikov pretty early in the fight, which was also a good performance. And the Bukauskas Edwards fight, yeah, I mean, I want to forget that one quickly, although I really like Modestus.
We go to the undercard, and we'll get to the most of it. But first, I'm still trying to figure this one out because this makes zero effing sense. Elise Ardeen is, she is fighting off submission attempts. Polyana Viana looks like she's trying to work a triangle choke, she's trying to work an arm bar, and then all of a sudden I'm still trying to figure this part out here. It says first, submission by calf slicer here. I just don't see this. I mean, I'm looking at this fight, and it was basically the Ardeen looks like she's more in trouble than Vienna. Explain what happened here, Marcel, because I was watching this fight and going, what the hell just happened? Why
So
did
yeah,
Vienna tap out?
it's called a capsule lock. So apparently, like you saw Viana locking her legs after Elise's back, right? And that's
Yes.
already kind of weird. Normally, people don't do that. So because she did that, she puts a certain pressure on her own joints, and Elise posted in such a way that that joint from Viana got overextended, and that's why she tapped out. So that's apparently called a capsule lock. Elise said that she saw it on Instagram and that she knew that Viana always locked her legs behind the opponent's back. So that's why she did. That's why she tried it, and she got it. It's actually crazy that Elise fought. She had a pretty bad injury going into the fight. Apparently, an LFL tear she had, or LCL tear. Sorry, LCL tear. So she said when she came in Vegas, she was thinking about pulling out, but then the PI was able to get her through the week, and she took the fight. And I mean, thank God she did, because she also won an extra 100K for performance of the night. Yeah, it was a crazy finish, man. It was a really rare one you never saw before in the UFC. And yeah, congrats to Elise. Really happy for her, man.
Like, I'm glad for Elise. I'm just looking at Polyana Viana going, what? If you know somebody's doing something and they can't control it, like, it's not like she has like an arm bar or
It's
a
it's
heel
it's
hook.
it's also almost like comparable with the choke with the Van Flue, I would think. It's like also a thing a lot of people don't see coming if they don't know what the Van Flue is. Like they keep you know the Van Flue, right? When they
Yes.
when they how do you say that, when they keep the arm around the neck of the opponent while it's a side control, and you pretty much choke your own. um yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, but in a different way.
I mean, I kept wondering, like, okay, so why didn't Viana just uncross her legs? And then the
Because
pressure would have been that bad. I mean, again, this is like a fight where you
it
almost
was
wonder if Viana should be cut for just being like, you're
it wasn't
kind of an
possible
idiot. You're
because
an idiot. You can say
no,
that, Marcel.
no, it wasn't possible because Ardeline, with the way she postured, she couldn't get away with the leg anymore because she was stuck, because she was her joint was stuck. That's why she had to. That's why she was like screaming and wincing in pain, you know. So she couldn't unlock at that moment. Only when Elise let go. So yeah, it's a crazy submission, man. But I thought it was really spectacular.
The rest of the undercard, Ivan Urslan defeated Tukos Tacos. gets his first win as his wife is delivering their third child. He's now 1-3 of UFC. His contract is run out, so hopefully, he can go, hey, look, I won my last fight. I'm on a win streak. UFC, please re-sign me. We'll see how that goes. Tommy Gant, a former NCAA All-American wrestler, continues his undefeated ways. TKO punches from the back mount, knocking out Artur Minev. Gant looks like a force at 155. Somebody to keep your eye on down the road. Cody Brundridge upsetting Andre Petrosky. Left hook to ground strikes at 44 seconds into round two. Luis Gruel defeated Danny Baez by unanimous decision. And finally, in the two women's fights, we had Ketlin Vieira winning unanimous decision against Juana Cavalcante. And the last but not least, Nicole Kalari defeating Shannon Bannon in a very fun fight at the end, winning a submission by armbar triangle choke after coming back from a really tough second round here. Which undercard fights did you like the most? Who stood out? And which did you agree with who got the bonuses in this fight?
I'm cool with got the bonuses. Ardelean and Diaz, no problem with it. Also not with the fight of the night, no problem with it. If that was the fight of the night, it would have probably been Gurule against Barras because that was a real fun fight. I was happy for Gurule. He finally got his first win in the UFC. Um, Very happy for Cody Brundage as well. Brundage, always people talking shit about him, but he's a real company man, real family man as well. Always taking all fights he gets, and he was able to win the fight. TKO second round on his birthday, so I was really happy for the guy. And Tommy Gant is somebody who can climb up the rankings pretty fast, I think, because listen, it looked like he was a guy making his debut, fighting another guy making his debut on short notice. But Artur Minev is actually a really good fighter, in my opinion, and the way he handled him was really impressive. And Gant training with DC is a little bit of an older guy, he's not in his early 20s anymore or whatever. So I think the UFC is going to give him a push, and rightly so. Yes, there was some fun fights. Cagliari against Shauna Bannon. Yeah, I mean, it looked like Cagliari was going to lose because she was gassed and then she pulled off that submission in the third round. Because I think it was 1-1 going into the third, and the momentum was with Shauna Bannon. So good win for her. Do I want to talk about somebody else on this card? Let me think. Yeah, Tuko Takas against Ivan Erslan wasn't a good fight. I think the first round was pretty fun, but after that, Erslan pretty controlled him on the ground and didn't do a lot. So yeah, it was. I think overall was a pretty decent card, man, but nothing like super memorable or whatever. Maybe the capsule lock, of course, for Ardelean was super memorable, I think, but overall pretty decent card. Definitely for an Apex card, pretty good.
So how for this Apex card, we were talking about that. It seems like there was almost more online buzz for this fight card than the Netflix card, unless you really loved Rousey versus Carano in terms of MMA circles. Which was the best card of the two? And I can't believe I'm saying this because people are like, hey, this could be a channel. Ronda's saying this could be a challenger brand here. Does UFC have anything to worry about with MVP promotions, or is this still one of those cards where you look at this, the Apex card, and go, well, it still did better than the
I
MVP
mean,
Netflix card.
this is apples and oranges, of course. You got like a fight night card in the Apex, which is kind of like the lowest value cards the UFC put on. Against a card, an MVP with one with a big Netflix card with their main stars on. So it's apples and oranges. So and also people saying like MVP pays better. Yeah, of course they pay better because it's just one event. It's just one event. Let's see if they do 20 events a year, how they pay. You know what I mean? So, but it would be good for the UFC to have some challengers, somewhere else with different promotions. That would be really good. But at the same time, I have to see more from MVP before I know if it's like if they can challenge with the UFC. My personal opinion is I probably think now the thing is like they have guys like Parnas now who had I think a one fight contract with them. They have the Fumi and Kuta. They got Adriano Moraes. I tell you right now, if the UFC offers these guys to come to the UFC, they're going to the UFC. So that's how I see it pretty much.
What will it take to get a challenger brand? Because people keep asking, somebody's got to challenge the UFC. Somebody's got to do that. And people have come and gone. Bellator, Strikeforce, now PFL. It's like, and I would love for a sport to grow. You need somebody to make the UFC go, okay, we need to elevate. Hey, we need to treat fighters
Of
better.
course.
Hey, we need
Yeah.
to do this. But is that ever going to happen in our lifetimes, or is this one of those things? It's almost like death, taxes, and the UFC always being on top.
I think that will be the thing. Yeah, that Texas, the people don't understand that the UFC has built something in the last couple of decades. It's not easy to copy that or to better that. The thing it's like for example, like also with different sports. It's at a certain moment you always listen. Every baseball player wants to be in the NHL, right? Every football player wants to be in the NFL. Every basketball player wants to be in the NBA. Every mixed martial artist wants to be in the UFC. It's that simple, because everybody knows that's the highest category you can fight in. So obviously, listen, it's fun that we have a promotion here in MVP who says we're paying the fighters well, we're putting on big cards. Let's see in 2 years, if they're still around, and let's see how they put on big cards still. Listen, do I hope it happens? Yeah, for sure. It's good for the UFC to have some good concurrence. But I don't know, man, if they will stay around. We'll see. It's not like they're established with MMA or whatever. You got Jake Paul, who is like also interested in boxing, who's also doing that. So, but we'll see. Um, but for now, it's too early to say anything about it, and it's still apples and oranges to me.
Well, usually this is where we promote the next UFC card, talk about what's going on, but they're off next week, which is weird because all of a sudden now Marcel's like, oh crap, wait, guess I'm gonna be doing more, I guess, World Cup. So that's the big question now. Before we let you go, will you be invading the United States at least for the World Cup? Right? Have you gotten your tickets and going, okay, the Team Netherlands, we're winning this thing. I mean, are you ready to start, chanting for your beloved Dutch? Go, hey, World Cup 2026. Let's make it happen, bitches.
Brother, I mean, I have to use four monthly salary to get to one fight or to one match. That's how expensive it is, to go to one of these matches. FIFA is crazy. FIFA is really like robbing people of their money. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Listen, normally I'm not that big on country football, because I'm more like a club team football. But I should say soccer here in your podcast. Normally, I'm more
No,
like
you're allowed to say football. We have some
okay,
international fans. People understand that. Football.
okay. So yeah, I'm more like a club team normally, But with the World Cups and European Cup and those kind of things, I really like the country football. It's always fun. It's always a massive party, everywhere. Yeah, looking forward to it, man. The Netherlands have a pretty tough group, I think. Um, But we'll see. I don't have too much trust in our coach, in our head coach. I think he has too many friends in the team who he prefers over other people who should play. But that's my opinion. But we'll see how far we come. It's definitely an interesting World Cup. Also for the USA, it's a fun World Cup. You guys with Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. I mean, definitely should be able to advance to the next round, I think. And after that, we'll see how it goes. But it's going to be a fun World Cup, I think, and it's going to be like a crap load of matches. I mean, this is the first time it's 48 countries. Normally it's 32. So yeah, looking forward to it, man. Should be fun.
Well, I keep telling you, just use your connections. You're friends with Marab and Ilya the published for years. I've been your defenders. Throw me some tickets. Buy me some tickets, gentlemen. I will promote yourself shamelessly on all my platforms, including OnlyFans. If you buy me FIFA World
Holy shit. Yeah.
coming from the MMA Oddsbreaker podcast. I give you Marcel Dorff. So Marcel, before we let you go, where else and the website, YouTube channel, where can fans hit you up at?
First of all, as always, Chris, thanks for having me. It's always fun talking to you about MMA. I love it. Big Marcel 24, Twitter, Instagram. For my articles, go to heavy.com slash UFC, And for my soccer articles, you go to heavy.com slash soccer or slash heavy on World Cup. I don't exactly know what the how do you say that? What the link is, but you'll figure it out when you're on the website. Um, yeah, and my MMA Oddsbreaker podcast with Adam Martin, we did it earlier today, so that's on the in the live section of the YouTube channel. And yeah, Chris, I want to thank you again for having me. Always fun talking to you, and we talk to each other next week, I think, right?
Yes, we'll talk to each other next week. We'll be promoting that UFC on Macau card for freaking AM in the morning. God damn you, UFC. But that's a whole different story for a different day. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Marcel Dorff, always on a pleasure having you on the show. We come back. We got a lot more going on here, only on It's Last Call. Last call at the alcohol, only on the Last Call Podcast.com.